I've never been a big fan of dating sims. I don't know, it's just that I never really bought into the idea of seeing the main character as an extension of myself, so stories that rely on that aren't something I really bought into. I always considered a good romance to be one where you can understand the connections and mutual attraction between the people involved, so static audience insertion characters are counterintuitive to it. Maybe that's not how these games should be viewed, but maybe I'm just not the type who can view them the proper way. Considering all this, it's more than a little ironic that a comedic series that has dating sims as the central theme could create some of the best romantic storylines you'll ever see in a shonen. Ironic, but not impossible to understand. So, the world God only knows centers around a boy named Keima Katsuragi. His mission in life has been to capture the hearts of all the women he comes across. It's a task to which he dedicates all his time, and for which there is no true equal. In games. Yes, our protagonist is an otaku, and a very large one at that. In fact, his talents for completing these games are so extreme that he's attracted the attention of hell itself. He unwittingly makes a deal to assist a devil named Elsie, yes, that's what a devil looks like, to aid in her capture of the little demons that lie dormant in the hearts of women. Can someone with only dating sim knowledge possibly make real women fall in love with him? Either way, it'll be fun to watch him try. Let me begin by saying that this is what the protagonist of a manga should be like. In a world of bland, interchangeable main characters, it should at least be possible to pick your lead out of a crowd. The series has its share of stereotypes, but Keima is in a class all his own. His first priority is his dating sims, and at first he only goes along with Elsie's mission, though she won't bother him as much about it. They affect his entire way of living, from the way he interacts with others, to his whole system of beliefs, to his performance in school. He's the sort of person most of us want to distance ourselves from, while at the same time we find ourselves fascinated with how he lives. The little intricacies of his character are just a part of the overall style of the manga. Above all, the series is a comedy, and it knows how to play up any scenario for full comedic effect. It's not just in the words, but the artwork and expressions of the characters. I feel like the mangaka knows how to get out of his comfort zone and exaggerate his characters in strange ways, which only adds to the humor present. So, we have a group of unknowing girls about to get romanced by Keima. What are they like? Well, the principal idea behind them is that they represent the types of characters and stories common in dating sims. Because of this, the series likes to give them more stereotypical personalities. It does like to either twist the associated stereotypes or dial them up to 11, but it's hard to look past the fact that they're obviously meant to invoke memories of other people, especially when it reaches the point where several character models are obviously based on other, more familiar designs. Luckily, it's still very possible to find the characters appealing, provided you like the character archetypes they represent. I think everyone who reads will find someone in the large cast to grow attached to. However, this brings us to another issue the series has, which is that the characters never stay important for as long as you'd like them to. See, part of the main concept of the series is that after a girl loses her runaway spirit, she forgets about the capture and that she ever fell for the main character. Naturally, this means her role in the plot is greatly reduced if she has any role left to play at all. I really wish these characters had more of a presence in some form. As much as I don't usually like harem anime, at least the girls in those stay around even if they have no chance of success. It's a real shame because the romantic story arcs the characters get are surprisingly well developed. You wouldn't think an intentionally fake romance would be any good, but even I was surprised how emotional these scenes can get. Part of that seems to lie in the repeated use of shorter storylines, which allows the mangaka to get better with consistent practice. As the story goes on, the characters and scenarios get less traditional, and we eventually get scenarios that feel vastly different from what came before. I can't say every story arc meets that quality, but at the end of the day, it's the successes you'll remember more than the failures. Just know that any emotion between the main character and his charges is destined to be only temporary, no matter how much you'd like it to stay. I almost wish the creator would start working on a pure romance story so we could lose those rules. But that would require me to wish for the current manga to end, which is not something I want in the foreseeable future. The world God only knows is in many ways a celebration of anime culture, being written for otaku and most likely by an otaku. It generally has the strongest impact on people who are already fans of dating sims or harem anime in general. However, as long as there's some part of you that enjoys the common themes of those kind of shows, you should at least give the series a look, because there may be something here for you. I also think the comedic and romantic aspects of the show need to be reiterated, because it may not be apparent from looking at this series that it can do those kinds of things well. Regrettably, the focus on anime and dating sim culture makes it hard for anyone outside that culture to get into it. A gateway series, it is not. I also wouldn't start this series if you're looking for a more permanent romance plot, because it's much more episodic than most people would want. The manga has yet to receive a North American release. The anime, however, has been licensed by Sentai Filmworks and began release this January. It covers the first 41 chapters of the manga, as well as 1 or 2 one-shot chapters from later on. There were also 2 light novels for the series released in Japan some time ago. Wakaki Tamagi had previously created a number of one-shots, including an alternate beginning for this series, as well as the series Holy Crystal Albatross, which ran for a year on Weekly Shonen Sunday. So, that was The World God Only Knows. It's really a testament to how a series can go so far beyond the initial premise and turn out as such a quality product. And hey, got me a little interested in dating sims too. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to figure out how to achieve capturing God mode. Maybe then I can actually clear my manga backlog.